Am I going to like the new Atlas lock from Cold Steel? What is going on, guys? Carter here with Edge Mindset. We're doing an unboxing from Amazon again. I tend to buy Cold Steel knives off Amazon. They just have the best prices. Even though every single time I'm always worried about them being fake. I've never actually gotten a fake one yet. So maybe that worry is unwarranted. Shout out, by the way, to this Microtech Hera. I was questioning it when I first got it, but I actually really enjoy this thing. It is so easy to carry, and it functions so perfectly well. It's a really good, nice little OTF EDC, if you are in the market for one. So, what do we have here? The Cold Steel Engage with the Atlas lock. This will be my first Atlas lock that I've ever tried, ever held, ever managed. I've gone back and forth on this guy so many times. It catches my eye, but then I immediately kind of think, I don't know if it does anything for me. It's kind of a fairly generic looking knife, and so I've almost pulled the trigger a number of times and then never quite did. But here it is, a first look at the Engage, or at least my first look at the Engage. You got some G10 here, black with some milling going on in there. It is contoured, which is nice. Overall, it seems pretty thin, pretty sleek, a little bit wide, a little bit chunky. Action's pretty good. Wow, that Atlas lock is really far down. So that is one of the things worth noting on here is, unlike the Shark lock and the Axis lock and Ram lock that are all kind of up here, this is pretty far down. So it's about the same location as, I wish I had a Triad lock somewhere around here. I feel like it's about the same location. So it almost works the same as the Triad lock in terms of where your hands are. And yep, you can do the tried and true Triad lock drop shut type thing, which is pretty nice. This is a lot easier to disengage than the Triad lock. So pretty freaking cool. You can see, if you don't know how this works, it's got a little ledge right here with some jimping, and you simply pull this down. It is spring actuated, and then that moves out of the way of the lock, and it looks like it actually engages inside of there. And similar, that's interesting. So similar to the Triad lock, it has the same frame pin type design, so that when it locks up just like that, it's distributing that lock up into the frame itself. That's kind of the big key to the Triad lock, is that you're not just mating the back of the tang into the lock surface. You're actually mating against the whole frame, and that's what makes it so strong. So, ergonomics are pretty dang good. I was a little worried I wouldn't be able to fit in between these 2 points here. I hear if you've got chunky monkey fingers, big fat sausage hands, that you might struggle with that, but I don't. I've got long fingers. I've got like a long hand width or span, but my actual fingers are fairly slender, so don't have that issue. Super comfortable. You got this nice choil up here. Got this cool kind of clip point blade going on here, Engage marking. It's got the pyramid thumb studs with the flathead screw on this side. S35 VN steel, made in Taiwan, deep carry pocket clip. I don't really care for deep carry pocket clips, but maybe you do. So that's kind of personal preference. I like how this is kind of a blasted finish on there. What else do we got? Nice, smooth, super smooth action. Different ways to close this thing. I will agree, if it was any smaller, it would be difficult to close it this way. However, you could still do this. So that's not too bad. Nice and centered. Detent's pretty good. I was kind of worried. It's got a really smooth, easy to open kind of action on here. But what I will say, it's similar to what I was kind of expecting with this guy, it is fairly generic. Not a ton going on here. The lock is cool. It looks like a good purpose kind of carry around, use it, abuse it type knife. Nice thick, wow, really thick blade stock. Actually, I didn't even realize that. Nice thick blade stock. Let's check the evenness of the bevels here. I've heard newer Cold Steels can be a little off with that. Looks pretty good. Not perfect, a little bit wider up here than on this side, but it's not anything too crazy and not anything outside of the realm of kind of production knives, what I've come to expect. Good finish on the blade. You got kind of the satin flats going this way and then kind of a quasi-polished on the bevel there. You can barely see the grind lines. Let's check lockup. Pretty solid. I think I need to tighten this pivot up just a touch. Let me see if I actually have a tool handy here. Tighten that up just a touch, and then I'm trying to see. I'm getting just a little bit of clicky on the up and down. If I really muscle it, little bit of clicky, similar to what I've gotten on a lot of my ram locks from Microtech, is it's not completely solid. Now, more solid than you'll ever need, and I 100% trust it to not fail, but it does have a little bit of movement. So I don't know. This is a sample of one, so maybe others are tighter than this, but if I'm just using this, I would say that the Triad lock has been tighter of a lockup than this particular example is. So do with that information that you will. Like I said, these things can kind of be a little bit different. Let's see if we can close it now. Tightened it just a little too much, but it should kind of break in, I think. Overall, pretty cool, but yeah, I don't know. I need to carry this around. I need to see what I think about this. Get some oil in it, carry it, play with it. I do like these contoured scales here. When I look at it from the profile standpoint, or at least when I looked at it with pictures and things like that, I kind of envisioned it being a lot thicker than it is. So it's kind of cool that it's not that thick. It's pretty slender. Let's do a weight real quick, just for fun. Just for funsies. 6.6, so pretty heavy for a knife that's not crazy big. You can see it's actually just a little bit shy of a paramilitary 2. So pretty heavy boy, but you can see how thick that blade stock is. So it is kind of more on the kind of hard use, tanky type knives. This would be cool to see in, they do make a Tanto version. It'd be cool to see in like a DLC blade with maybe coyote tan or green scales or something would look pretty cool. I like it. I think I like it. I think I do like it. I would like to see some jimping back here. It's kind of a little bit plain. These are kind of a sharp edge right there. And I don't love this pocket clip. I just don't like the way they look. I mean, they carry great, but I've never had a problem with knives not carrying deep enough. I know some people do. They don't like to kind of advertise. You know, they want anything poking out, but I don't really care or have that issue. These deep carry pocket clips always just kind of looked a little bit goofy to me. But all right, guys, Engage Atlas lock. Pretty cool, pretty different. Talk to you guys later.